What's up, guys? It's Napoleon here. Let me just start off this video by saying I'm a big Halloween fan. I've seen all the movies. I mean, I'm dressing up as Michael Myers for Halloween. Here's a picture of that. Yeah, I actually just got back from the new Halloween movie, Halloween Ends. I've been following the trilogy. They had Halloween, the reboot, and then Halloween Kills. I thought it was all right. If I'm gonna be honest, I thought it was pretty good. And here is Halloween Ends. I just got back from the theater. This is my honest review. I saw it with my dad because he's a big Halloween fan, and I'm not even gonna lie to you. I got diddled. This movie was terrible. Big shocker. Let me flash the ratings, the scores, the reviews. Oh my goodness, but does not even explain it. This movie, undoubtedly, is a top 3 worst medias I've ever consumed, and it tasted awful. Oh my goodness. In fact, I have my dad here. I actually have my dad here. He's gonna tell us what went wrong with the movie. So, here's my dad. Alright, so here's the microphone. What did you think about the movie?
Well, I've seen every single Halloween movie. It seems that they're following the pattern from the 78, the classic, and then straight into the 40 years later, the one they did before the one where he goes into the fire, which I thought was pretty good. And then the last one was, remember, he comes out of the fire.
Yeah.
And then this one. And this one's like 1 hour into it. And I'm like, what? I get it, character development, but it was just overdone. You think one guy is going to be the next Halloween, and we turn into each other like where are we watching Halloween? Like, what is going on? Like, where are we going with this? And
we were so confused.
You didn't have the normal sound effects, the classic zzz, none of that stuff. And I'm giving away too many spoilers.
No, that's fine. I put a spoiler warning.
And then it's definitely the end.
The ending was terrible.
The ending, he's done. But
yeah,
but
it was goofy.
It was goofy. It was silly. You were like, where are we going with this?
It took itself too seriously.
Too many subplots. It wasn't scary. It was overdone with the blood, which at the end you're kind of like, all right, you've seen so much of it.
Yeah. And
probably out of all the Halloween movies that they've done, this one's probably the one with the little girl. What was that, number 4? The Curse of Michael Myers. Was kind of stupid. The Busta Rhymes with the party in his house is really dumb. The one with LL Cool J, that was all right. I mean, the Busta Rhymes is worse. And this one's probably out of all of them. I mean, this is up there with Curse of Michael Myers, number 4. This is really bad. This is bad. This is really bad.
This is terrible.
But it was cool hanging out with you.
Thanks, Dad.
Good night.
Love you.
That was so bad.
That was terrible. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Papa Napoleon, for the wise words. Thank you. Such a kind man. I hate the fact that I had to drag my dad out to see this because he's seen Halloween Kills. He's seen Halloween. He thought it was pretty good. Man, but now I feel bad. I dragged him out to see it. I should. God, I feel terrible subjecting him to this terrible movie. And normally I like terrible movies. Don't get me wrong. I love terrible movies. It's a passion. But this is just a new level of bad. Like, it's not a fun bad movie. It takes itself too seriously. A ton of subplots. But yeah, this video does contain spoilers for Halloween Ends. If you haven't. Oh, jeez, excuse me. If you haven't seen that movie or you're planning to, or like you don't want to be spoiled, man, just whatever. Just click away. Go watch any of my other banger videos. On to what I didn't like about the movie. Spoilers, you have been warned. Oh my goodness, this movie was too long. This is my main complaint. This movie was nearly 2 hours, and so many scenes were unneeded. I know a thing or two about long movies. I saw It 2 in theaters. Like, no, hold the applause. And don't get me wrong, I thought It 2 was like an okay movie. But in retrospect, oh my goodness, I wasted like 4 hours of my life in that movie theater because we got there early, walked through the preview, saw the prequel, oh my goodness, saw the previews of other movies. Movie finally started, it was like an hour, it was like 3 hours, 30 minutes. Oh, God, I'm just reliving that now. At least Halloween Ends wasn't 3 hours, 30 minutes. That'd be terrible. Anyway, yeah, this movie was too long. There were so many scenes that just didn't have importance. So many characters that just didn't need to be there. It was just stupid how long it was. I think my dad said it best. Halfway through the movie, nothing's happening. There's like no Michael Myers. There's Corey, who's like a new kid. He's hyped up to be the new Michael Myers. Blah, 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 blah. He's hyped up for that. He's like a grown ass man. It's super weird. But yeah. So that's the only thing that's going on. He has a crush on Laurie's grandchild. I already forgot her name. This just sucks. But yeah. And I turned to my dad and I'm like, "Are we watching Halloween? What's going on? Like what's going on?" Nothing really to say. It's not a Halloween movie. It's not a Halloween movie. This is a different class of its own. I refuse to put this in the same category as like a horror movie, because nothing about this was scary. And this leads me to my next point. This movie just wasn't scary. They had one jump scare at the beginning where it's a kid under the stairs because he's like dressed up and he's hiding from his parents who are calling him to go greet the babysitter, who is Corey. So he jumps out, he scares, blah, blah, blah. That was the scariest part of the movie. Everything else was just so predictable. There was barely any suspension. Sorry, not suspension. There was barely any suspense. That's the right word. This movie had no suspense. This movie was like a weak tomato sauce. It ruined everything. There was just nothing to be scared of. You know, they emphasized, they made it clear like several points into the movie. Like Michael Myers, the OG, he is like an old ass man. He can't do anything. Like literally, he got his ass kicked like 3 times across this entire movie, and he only killed like one or two people. Well, it's really one person because the other guy was already dying. He just snapped his neck. But yeah, it's just super sad. It's really sad to see because it's just Michael. He's like, and he's just this old ass man. He's like 70, and he does nothing for practically the entire movie besides get his ass kicked at the end. But then again, yeah, that's literally what happens. Dude doesn't appear in half. I'd say a good 3/4 of the film. That's right. It's Halloween. And he doesn't show up for like an hour and a half. He shows up for the last 15 minutes. I know, I'm shocked. All that rest of the time is dedicated to Corey and his sad ass who likes this girl who happens to be Laurie's grandchild. Boo-hoo. He killed a kid by accident. It's super sad stuff, and I like the idea of Laurie Strode moving on, you know, moving in with her is it granddaughter? Yeah, it's granddaughter. You know, I like happy endings, but the movie opened like that, and it just got worse from there. It really did. So Michael Myers has been living in a pipe this entire time. Corey falls over a ledge. He gets bullied. He jumps over a ledge. He falls down next to that. He falls down next to that pipe. Michael Myers comes out, literally like scoops him, brings him into the pipe, and then just lets him go. And it's implied that Corey is the same as Michael Myers. He's pure evil. He's just like the Shape. Ooh. But like this kid is like the biggest loser. Like nothing is scary about him. He wears glasses. Four Eyes is not scaring anyone. What are they doing with this? Dude is skinny as a twig. He's not big. Like, he's not girthy. He's not a man like Michael Myers. He's not. He doesn't have any weight to him. He looks like he's 115 pounds. I could probably knock his ass out in a fight. No, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I'm just saying. I saw the movie. I know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's just... So they hype up this guy to be the new Michael Myers, Corey. He has like a super sad home life. He killed a kid by accident in a freak accident, and now all of Haddonfield hates him. So he's a freak. And then Michael Myers just like is like his best friend now. He goes to the pipe with Michael Myers. They hang out. Like, what's going on? Like, what's going on? This movie is terrible, man. Michael Myers would never do that. He'd kill him. But no, Michael lets him go because he's the same as him. Ooh. So that's an entire subplot. And it's totally straight. They literally force feed you the idea that Corey is going to be the new Michael Myers. That's right. This trilogy is extending. And then fast forward to the end of the movie. Corey in the Michael Myers mask goes to Laurie Strode's house because he's gonna kill her. He gets his ass kicked, by the way. Laurie shoots him like 5 times in the chest, and somehow he has the knife, and he stabs himself. And then Michael shows up like 5 minutes later, like the actual Michael Myers, the OG. He picks up the knife. He tries to pick up the knife off the floor. But then Corey is somehow still alive. Dude had an entire, like, butcher's knife shoved in his throat. And he still, like, holds Michael's arm trying to stop him. And then Michael just snaps his neck. So Corey's dead at the end of the movie. I don't know what. Totally wasted character. So much wasted potential. No one. Honestly, he was kind of an asshole. I'm going to be honest. He was an asshole for the entire movie. I kind of felt bad for him, but I'm like, no, this dude is just like absolutely. He's a loser. He is a loser. It's terrible, man. Terrible. The final showdown happens. The final showdown, by the way, is like 5 minutes. Dead ass. Now, I can't show you any... I mean, I could try, but I don't think I could show you any clips from the movie. But, yeah, Michael is an old-ass man. He's like 60, and he's throwing around Laurie Strode, who's in her, I'd say, mid-60s? Yeah, I'd say like mid-60s, yeah. Yeah, mid-60s. So they're having a tussle and a rustle. They're, like, throwing each other around. And somehow, Jamie Lee Curtis, who plays Laurie Strode, flips Michael onto a table, stabs his hand with a knife, and meanwhile, Michael is just, like, kind of wiggling around. He's not doing anything. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. He's just wiggling there. He's not doing anything. And then she grabs another knife. She stabs his other arm. Sorry, his other hand. And he's just wiggling around. He's not doing any... He's so weak. They nerfed him so bad. And it's... it's terrible to see. So she takes, like, a cast iron pan. She's like staking him to the table. And he's, like, kicking around or something. So then she stabs his armpit. By the way, your armpit has a bunch of nerves and veins and stuff. Like, you're absolutely bleeding out in under 5 minutes if you get stabbed deep in the armpit. But she sticks, like, a whole-ass chef's knife down there. Takes it out. Michael's just shaking there. He's like, having a spasm. He's not doing shit. So then Laurie slits his throat. And then somehow he pulls his hand through the knife, like it slices through him. And then he starts choking her out. I'm not going to describe the entire scene. I'd say go watch the movie, but I really don't. You're wasting your time. Just a totally lackluster action sequence. I wasn't scared for the entirety of this movie. Now, one of the things I liked about the first Halloween movie was it had suspense. Like, I was shitting bricks by the time Michael showed up. I was terrified. And it is still probably one of my favorite horror movies. But oh my god, this movie just takes a dump on it. There's no suspense. Like, you know what's gonna happen. You see Corey pull up outside someone's house with the Michael Myers mask. You know they're gonna get killed. It's so lame. It is so lame. But this is just bad. I cannot tell you how bad this movie is. Go watch it. No, don't watch it yourself. Don't. You couldn't pay me $50. Actually, you know what? I wouldn't watch this movie even if you offered me $50. There we go. This was just such a bad movie. You have to take my word for it. I cannot describe to you how bad this movie was. I really can't. I can describe things to you, but you just have to see it. Oh my goodness, this movie was long. It was boring. It was terrible, man. In fact, I'm gonna end the video here. I've had enough. I've got to go take some sleep. I gotta get some mental health checks, man. This movie goofed me up. I got diddled hard. Do not watch Halloween Ends. It was terrible. Have a nice night, everyone.